Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm excited because I'm back with another tag video and I'm going to be doing the reader problems tag. And I'm so excited because they're just so much fun. I don't know if you have done a tag before, and if you just started doing booktube and you haven't done this one, I totally tag you. I tag you like the wind, so I've tagged you. So yeah, but getting started with the first question for the reader's problems. You have 20,000 books on your TBR. How in the world do you decide what to read next? And, well, 20,000 books on my TBR? That's a lot. I mean, I don't even have that many books on my bookshelf or my Kindle, and Goodreads, that's too many books. That seems like a day of spending so much time on Goodreads and Amazon and watching lots of booktubes, so that's a lot of books. So anyway, how I decided to read what to know, what I should be reading next is I just feel like inspired. I like to go for like what's in the moment and what I'm feeling. Sometimes I'd be watching a booktube video and then they're like I hear so much of the same book for so long. Like I know everybody's been hearing Throne of Glass or let's see, Six of Crows. I mean, there's so much times. How many times have you been hearing those books? And so I finally got inspired to read it. And sometimes a readathon actually gives you a reason to why to pick up that book sometimes. Or I will see like a movie trailer that was based on a book that will make me like, I'm going to read it now. So that's what helps me decide what I should read next. The next question is, you're halfway through a book and you're not loving it. Do you quit or are you committed? Most of the time I try to quit before it gets even longer, but you never know. Sometimes you'll be reading a book and if by the time you are not enjoying it, it's like halfway through and you're like, God, I made it, I want to quit so bad, but I made it to the halfway through the book, or I have a few more pages, so what the hell? And then afterwards, then you go to the point of hating yourself for reading that whole book because you knew you should have quit when before you got to the end. And I don't know, we all do it. We always forget to stop reading the book. So sometimes we want to have that goal to finish every single thing. And if you're reviewing that book and you promise to review it, you're forced to read that book. So I don't know. Yeah, not fun. So the next question is, the end of the year is coming and you're so close, but so far away on your Goodreads reading challenge. Do you try to catch up and how? Yes, I try to catch up as much as I can without stressing or anything. I just have fun trying to do as much as I can. Yes, I want to read 100 books each year, but I'm just going to try just to fit as many as in and just be happy with whatever number. That is accomplishment as enough. And what I do to help catch up, well, recently when I started book blogging before our booktube, I had that reading challenge to read 100 books. And I ended up reading 103 books. And my trick is readathons. Readathons are always helpful, and also picking a day of the week, like the weekend, that you're willing to sacrifice anything else and just sit and read. So, because readathons, especially if they're like 24-hour or whatever it is, they actually force you to read as many books as you can during that challenge. And sometimes you'd be like, oh, it's 48 hours. I'm going to pick as many skinny books I can read, or maybe chunky books if you're very ambitious. And so it actually is like a speed bump. So it's kind of like, it helps you out. So it's kind of like, that's what helps me throughout that time. And also, I didn't really have a job or anything, and I was also sick a lot during those years. So it helped me keep up with my reading. So yeah, so that's what helps me. So readathons were the best reason. So the next question is, the cover of a series you love do not match. How do you cope? I don't cope. I just deal with it. I walk by my bookshelf for the mixed match covers. I look at it and then I'll just be like, they don't match. They don't match. And then I'll tell my sister about how they don't match, and then eventually they will match eventually. And I mean, I am kind of working on trying to replace books that don't match when I find them. So they will eventually. So, but it always drives me crazy, and I don't know. Maybe I should just drink a mojito or something just to help me cope. So I don't know. So the next question is: everyone and their mother loves a book you really don't like. Who do you bond with over shared feelings? It's kind of hard to find a book that you read that everybody likes sometimes, and plus, my mom and my sister aren't readers, and they don't really read as much, and even if they do read, they don't read my kind of books. And I've been trying to get my mom to read forever, so no luck on that. So, a great place to find that I usually find reliable is going online. I go to Facebook groups that surround focused on my book, and going on Goodreads just to find a review that equals my own feelings, then see if I could get a response. Sometimes I don't, but that's the only way I can get a maybe have something common with somebody. So, and also going on YouTube. If you find a review on a book that you read, it's a good place to find people with like-minded interests. Let's see. The next question is: everyone. No, wait, I already said that one. You're reading a book and you're about to start crying in public. How do you deal? So that never really happens to me in public, and I'm not a big, huge crier as much. I mean, I never was like crying in a ball with tears and tissues. I mean, sometimes I'll have like a tear, like something like coming down like this. And so if that happens in public, I'll just be like, and if anybody asks, like, uh, bad makeup, I forgot to update my makeup. I should be, uh, like I should be throwing out old and replacing it with the new. You know how it is. You know what they say on Dr. Ross. Throw away. That's why I look like I'm crying. You know, allergies. Actually, I do have a lot of allergies, so if it's pollen season, hopefully it always helps. So that's what I do. Let's see. The next question is: a sequel of a book you loved just came out, but you've forgotten a lot from the prior novel. Will you read the book? Yes. Skip the novel sequel? No. Try to find a synopsis on the Goodreads? Yes. Cry in frustration? No. Like I said, I'm not a crier, and if I forget what happened in the last novel, which is kind of rare, I usually remember at least something, at least the main summary, I guess. I usually recap myself by checking out a review that has all the spoilers. That actually will tell you everything you missed. Like, if I forgot what happened in Court of Thorns and Roses, I'll check out as many. I mean, it's so popular that you'll hear about it so much, so I'll be like, yeah, I remember Tamlin's an ass. So, yeah. I don't know what happened. I haven't read the third one, so don't tell me what happened. But I know he's a douche, and I don't like him, and Ryson is good looking, and he's the best. So, and I also don't like Lucian either. So Lucian is as weak and much of an ass as Tamlin because I don't know, he's his boy. So yeah, so that's pretty much I know, and that's my tip is like just to find reviews on it to get your recap. Also, another tip: at the end of the book of the first one, you write like your own little index card, and you find out write main points that happened at the end of the book. So that way, when you read the second book, you can just read it, and that way, like, I remember that characters' names. Yep, I remember. Let's see. The next question is: you do not want anyone, borrowing your books. How do you politely tell people nope when they ask? Luckily for me, I never had that situation happen to me. Nobody really asked me to borrow my books. And, which is kind of a good thing because I like my books where it is and I always miss them. So, and my sister does sometimes will borrow a book, but she does not read. So, and most of the time I see my book lying on some place, and then when I see that, I just take it back and put it on my bookshelf. And other than that, I did have one friend that did borrow a book of mine from high school. You know you are. I won't say your name, but you did borrow a book. It was named Full Moon Rising by Carrie Arthur. And if you have seen that book, can I get it back? Because all I have is a Kindle book of it, and I just want it to be back. Actually, I forgot what it's about. So, but it would be nice. But anyway, that's a good way to cope with it. Tell them to return it. A good way is just, I don't know. I prefer not to loan my books as much. Unless if they're a really trustworthy person and they have paid me back on money when they borrow it. And, like they have a good track record of returning their stuff. So, yeah. So the next question is reading ADD. You picked up and put down 5 books in the last month. How do you get over your reading slump? Well, I actually did make a video recently, this week, all about reading slumps. And so if you're looking for tips on how to get over one, I have some great tips. But since I'm doing a tag today, I'm going to give you some of my brief tips. 1. Varieties of spice of life. Try to keep your reading taste varied. Try to read everything and different points of view. Try to keep it interesting, because the more you keep it interesting and excites you, the less likely you'll get one. And 2, don't try to read it on dense books, because when you're reading a dense books like Lord of the Rings or something with that's pretty much a big huge brain dump, you're just gonna get so much in there and you just won't be able to read anymore. So, and especially if you're reading 6 books in a series, like trying to read The Mortal Instruments, well, actually that's really interesting to me. So, but if you're trying to read a big huge series, it's just gonna get you into a reading slump, like one that'll never end. It's just gonna be like some one big huge black hole, and it's until somebody else finds you another book to read that's totally different. Then you'd be like, "Help! I need help with my reading slump." No. But anyway, don't do that. And thirdly, take a break. Take tons of breaks. Drink some Colombian coffee. Go on a field trip. I mean, I'm sure they have some museum near your area, even if it's like the Museum of Mustard, which does exist. Just do whatever it is that you can get. Anyway, next question is, there are so many new books coming out that you're dying to read. How many do you actually buy? Well, I rarely buy new books. I mostly buy used books. And even if they just came out this year, I wait until it's super cheap so I can buy them. But most of the time I go to a book sale and I buy as many as I can, babe. I go for the 2 for $5 books sale. And then when it's like $1 bag day, I try to fill up as much as I can on a bag until it breaks. And I almost came close to that, but I made it through the book. I made it to my car, so yeah. And if it breaks, then I'll carry it with my hands. But mostly, I think it's like 5 or 20 books or something like that. That's how much. Next question is, after you've bought the new books you can't wait to get to, how long do they sit on your shelf before you get them? That is a good question, because let's see, I got Game of Thrones from my aunt, which was an awesome gift. And let's see, I got it like 2 years ago, and I'm still on book 3. Let's see, and then I also got this one book called Black Widow, and it's like from the Black Widow, like from the Marvels comics and stuff. I got that book at Costco one day from my mom. She gave it to me, and I think it's been sitting on that shelf for 3 years. So, yeah, that's as long as it'll go. But I did have one book that I actually sat on my bookshelf for 10 years before reading it. And look, sadly, it didn't turn out to be a good book. So that's pretty much all the questions I have today. Hopefully you love this tag, and hopefully you be interested in doing it yourself, because I would love to see that. And I tag everybody. I tag everybody who's subscribed to me. I tag you all. So yeah, and if I tagged you and you heard this video, just say, "I'm tagged." And if you like this video, click on a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And also, if you want to keep on watching this channel, and also, I'm also doing a review on Crooked Kingdom this week, so you don't want to miss that. So just subscribe. And until next time, keep on reading.